Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, February 1st, 2024. I'm Giovanni Benacourt, analyst, trader, and educator with Vantage Markets. Well, there was always going to be a reckoning. The stock market has been given a wake-up call by the Fed. Chairman Jerome Powell delivered a blow to hopes of a rate cut in March in his comments after the central bank decided to hold rates as expected. The Nasdaq plunged more than 2%. It's worst day since December 2022. But all may not be completely lost. Powell didn't fully close the door on a March rate cut. It's just not the most likely or base case scenario right now. That's what he said. There's still time for that to change, starting with tomorrow's employment report for January. The consensus estimate calls for a gain of 175,000 jobs. Powell said there were now two things that could make the Fed cut faster and sooner: a weakening in the labor market or very, very persuasive lower inflation. With only two consumer price inflation readings and two jobs reports between now and the March meeting, the economic data need to significantly soften and quickly for a cut to come back in play. If that does not start to happen, then it raises the possibility that the Fed's May meeting could also pass by without a cut. For now, March 20th is still the key date for investors. The prospect of an interest rate cut in March was a key factor behind the stock market's year-end rally and the S&P 500's route to fresh highs last month. A shift in expectation to May or even later threatens to undo some of that record run. So with that being said, what can we speculate? Because we are speculators, that's our job. We're in the CFDs market, so we speculate of a price change. That price change is beginning to happen now in the Nasdaq. We did open with a very small gap up. It actually has been closed, but the momentum with the direction of the gap is where RNG could be. Now, is it too late? Am I going to be chasing it? One thing that you want to keep in mind also is that a lot of times when we see the small gaps, we tend to creep back into the range of the previous session. So we can expect to reach yesterday's high. So we can do that. Whether it be the wick or where the candle open. In this case, it'll be over here. So it could be 17,410, or it could be 17,482. Might as well have already been 17,350 and it's trending lower. But so far, going up, going along with it. Also going along with the S&P, I'm giving it like 4,900. Perhaps it could be that place where we could find some resistance. But if not, then it continues to trend higher. Otherwise, it'll just retreat, and at least we'll know that it'll come back down to yesterday's low. Then we have the Dow. So the same token goes for the Dow, trading higher into yesterday's range, somewhere in the middle. Could be just being aware of it. Then we have crude oil. Yesterday it had a nice run to the upside, and then it just plummeted. So now we are at 76. The pivot point is idling. A lot of sideways. This is a daily chart, so we can't really see much what's happening inside of it. But so far, it's retreating. Let's see if it does continue to retreat and meets yesterday's low. Will it come down to 75 and then find support and go higher? Okay, then we have Nat Gas. Nat Gas opened with a small gap down, has been closed. So I'm gonna go with the momentum to the downside. So selling it, 220 is the target. Gold, 2020 is the support. That 2020 number, I'm thinking that it's gonna come down towards it. So I'm selling gold. Silver, 22, selling it. Copper, 380, selling it. Bitcoin is gonna I think because it's just gonna stay idling around 42,000, trying to stick around to it. I mean, if it hasn't already dropped or popped, I think it's gonna do something like this again. Just stay there and sideways trading. The currencies are battling their fluctuation. The euro is looking strongly to stay north of 108. Let's see if that will happen. and the pound is looking to come back up to 127, but it's looking hard because if the dollar index has opened up with a gap up, okay, it can indicate that we could probably see some appreciation in the currency and the dollar index. And if that happens, if the dollar index just pops to 103.6 and beyond, we'll definitely see the euro below 108, the pound towards 126, 125 and a half, the gold below towards the 2020, even perhaps even lower, and silver 22. So keep that in mind, all right? Have a great trading day, and I will see you tomorrow.